Looks like we got ourselves an unsanctioned match. These are my assorted thoughts on the February 17th, 2025 WWE RAW. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. From Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications to get all my wrestling hot takes, cold takes, simmering takes, WWE Premium Live Event, prediction and review videos, wrestling opinion pieces, and assorted thoughts on SmackDown and, of course, Raw. Now, I'm recording this Tuesday, February 18th, just before 3:30 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Standard Time. And, of course, all eyes are on Elimination Chamber in Toronto, but I am from Montreal, and my fellow Montrealer made some pretty big waves at the beginning of this episode of Raw. We had Sami Zayn looking a bit injured and sore. Not as sore as he did on Friday in that video, but he wasn't running down to the ring, hyping up the crowd. Great crowd response. He basically accepted Kevin Owens' challenge until Adam Pearce came down and told him no. I could see where this was headed. Obviously, they were going to do the match, Sami Zayn versus Kevin Owens at Elimination Chamber. You're never going to have the general manager saying no be the reason why a match doesn't happen. It's just going to happen in a different way. And yeah, we're getting an unsanctioned match. We even got a match card for it. Doesn't say unsanctioned on that. And when they played the recap of Pierce saying it's not official, it's unsanctioned, we had Michael Cole right away saying it's official, showing the match card. Anyways, okay, unsanctioned match. Now, I was worried that this match was going to happen at Elimination Chamber and not at WrestleMania because their WrestleMania matches might not be as good, and this is definitely a WrestleMania caliber match that I think should be given that stage. But it is in a stadium. It is in Canada. It's not in Montreal, although Montreal doesn't really have a stadium, but I would love to see this in Montreal. We do have a stadium, the Olympic Stadium. It sucks. It's in the Sky Dome or Rogers Center. But the fact that it's unsanctioned means this is going to be an intense match. This is hearkening back to the Kevin Steen El Generico days, I think, in Ring of Honor, which I think is what Adam Pearce was referring to because he was involved with them back then as well, too. I'm wondering what this means in terms of a referee. Is there even going to be a referee? Obviously, WWE is not going to provide a ref. Maybe there'll be a special guest referee. Maybe they'll get Bret Hart. That would be amazing. Hey, it's in Canada. Bret, why don't you do it? I'm sure they both trust you to count it right down the middle. I'm wondering, though, if this might actually lead to a WrestleMania match in terms of it gets really violent and there's no real conclusion and they have to do this at WrestleMania and somehow raise the stakes, maybe put something on, maybe one of them put their careers on the line, or although then I want them both to stick around, so maybe not. Or maybe Randy Orton will come in and set up his feud with Owens. I'm now very excited about I was excited for a Sami Zayn Kevin Owens match at WrestleMania. When I thought it was at the Chamber, I was like, But I'm now incredibly excited for a Sami Zayn Kevin Owens unsanctioned match at Elimination Chamber. This could go so many ways, but no matter what, it's going to be violent. It's going to be intense. It's going to be incredibly memorable, and I doubt it's going to stay in the ring. Gunther doing the Jey Uso entrance, that was incredible. It was hilarious. I cracked up. I thought it was brilliant. Obviously, he's trying to do the yeet thing, but he's really just insulting the crowd the whole way down. He continued to insult them on social media after. I thought it was so great. Like, what a way to piss people off. Everyone's excited to do the yeet thing, and they're hoping they're in the part of the section, the crowd where Jey Uso is going to come through it. But instead, you get Gunther. You see the kids getting pissed at him. It's such a good heel move. It's a dick move. It's amazing. It's brilliant. He had his interplay with Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. It looked like he was going to take a swing at McAfee. But of course, Jey Uso comes out for the save. Massive crowd pop. And we have the pull apart. I thought this segment was great. I thought that the beginning of it was when I saw Gunther coming through that crowd, I was like, okay, they're going to build this. I think this is going to be the main event of night one at WrestleMania. They're building this the absolute best way. They're not only taking advantage of the fact that Jey Uso is so over and his entrance is so over, they're showing how Gunther can interrupt the eating either by attacking Jey or by stealing the entrance. And I just thought that was brilliant. Now, an interesting little sidebar here for those of us watching in Canada or the UK or maybe on the ad-free tier on Netflix. During the ad break here, we actually got to follow Jey Uso out And he runs into the New Day, and he even says New Day sucks after they insult him. And then they runs into Pete Dunne. I almost said Butch runs into Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne even says New Day sucks. And then we follow Pete Dunne out to the crowd. I think they've done these sort of like, one person to the next person to the next person, interesting shot sequences before. But to do this during a commercial break for not the entire audience, I thought that was a little bit like too big to have during the commercial break. Also, during the commercial break, Jackie Redmond was off. We got Vic Joseph in the Redmond position. Fortunately, Michael Cole, during the break, said that Jackie Redmond was off, for those of you who just watched the actual broadcast. With commercials, Raquel Rodriguez was dominant in her Elimination Chamber qualifying match against Roxanne Perez, as you'd expect her to be. It looked like she was going to win. But of course, Bianca Belair and Naomi came out, surrounded Liv Morgan outside of the ring, distracting Raquel. Roxanne took advantage. 1, 2, 3. Roxanne's going to the Elimination Chamber. Kind of thought she was going to go that way, and I kind of thought it was going to be with interference after what Bianca and Naomi said on SmackDown. I do want to note that their outfits were inspired by the movie Bring It On. I think it's like an anniversary of that movie. I didn't know that's what it was when I was watching it, but I was like, wow, that's a really cool look they both have. They're matching. They got these cheerleader things going on. Great. But as far as the big takeaway here, Raquel is not going to be in the chamber. Bianca and Naomi, so Liv is not going to have a partner in the chamber. Bianca and Naomi are both going to be in the chamber. It might come down to them. Also, maybe it's going to be revealed that I was wrong and it wasn't actually Liv and Raquel who attacked Jade Cargill. And that might come out at the Elimination Chamber. Maybe Jade's going to come out at the Elimination Chamber and out of nowhere attacks like Naomi or something, if it's Naomi. Of course, Liv and Raquel didn't deny attacking Jade Cargill when asked, but they didn't say they did either. So I think that means that they didn't, even though I initially thought they did. Check out my video, by the way, where I predict that they were the ones who attacked Jade Cargill. I think if they actually did, they would just take credit for it. So my theory is revised a bit since that video. So it's definitely very interesting. And I think Jade is going to make a return very soon. And we're going to sort all of this out. By the way, we now have our match card for the Women's Elimination Chamber match. And the winner of this match is going to face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania. Or are they? I really liked Io Sky's video package, or bilingual video package, promoting her match against Rhea Ripley on the Raw after Elimination Chamber. And I know they're doing this just so that we think that she has a chance when really they're going with Rhea. But this and when Bianca and Naomi said that, Io might win too, job well done. I'm thinking Dark Horse Io Sky might actually win this match and defend the championship at WrestleMania. I guess, I'll have a better idea when I see who wins the Elimination Chamber to see if they'd be a better opponent for Rhea or for Io. Honestly, if it's Bianca Belair, I'd love to see Bianca versus Rhea at Mania. That would be incredible. It's a dream match. But, I've already seen her against Io twice. She won the first one at Backlash, Bianca that is, and Io won the second one on Raw. So the rubber match at Mania, that would be an incredible match as well, too. I would love to see Bianca Belair versus Io Sky for the championship at WrestleMania. Also, a little side note, Io, you're saying that is my championship. Well, the championship that you used to have is actually the one that Tiffany Stratton has right now. So by going for Rhea's championship, you're not going for your old championship. Anyways, regardless of that little sidebar, speaking of the Elimination Chamber, we now have all the participants in the men's chamber match. That's right. The main event of Raw was Seth Rollins against Finn Balor. Now, this is awesome match. It was a great main event match for the show. And at one point, it even looked like Rollins had won because there was a 3 count and Balor didn't kick out before the 3, but the referee just pretended like that wasn't the case. I mean, maybe they should have just gone with that. There's no time they have to hit on Raw since it's on Netflix. And that was the end result anyway. It's just, it was more dramatic when Rollins hit the stomp, knocked out Finn, 1, 2, 3. I did enjoy this match, but I really didn't think there was a chance that Balor was going to win because it just didn't make sense storyline-wise, Balor going to Elimination Chamber, unless Roman Reigns interfered to screw over Seth Rollins. But now I think there might be a Roman Reigns run-in to screw over Seth Rollins at the Chamber. But an unannounced Roman Reigns run-in is going to be in a stadium, not on a random Raw in Charlotte, North Carolina. No offense to Charlotte, but you're not going to do a Roman Reigns unannounced. Well, I guess all run-ins are unannounced. You're not going to do a Roman Reigns run-in on Raw. You're going to do it at the stadium show at Elimination Chamber in Skydome or Rogers Center. Regardless, good match. And now we got our card set for the men's Elimination Chamber match. Dakota Kai versus Ivy Nile in the number one contenders match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship was a good match. Both really strong competitors. I really thought Ivy Nile was going to win, but I'm glad that Dakota Kai won. Although I'm starting to think that maybe on her very first defense against the woman she beat for the title, Lyra Valkyria might actually lose to Dakota Kai, and then maybe Dakota Kai fights Ivy Nile at WrestleMania. We'll see how it goes. It was a good match. I like the fact that they're actually caring about this championship right now. And I guess with the Women's Intercontinental Champion, or with the Women's United States Championship, the first defense and the second, third, we're all against the person that Chelsea Green beat on Saturday night's main event to become the inaugural champion. So maybe Lyra versus Dakota a few more times might be good. I think Dakota eventually might win it, but not yet. But speaking of American-made, the Creeds lost last week. Ivy Nile lost this week. When Chad Gable comes back, there's going to be some hell to pay. We're going to see where that goes. I enjoyed AJ Styles versus Dirty Dominic Mysterio. It was a good match. Dom lost. Of course he did. You could see that one coming. Dom's the kind of guy he can lose, and it doesn't really matter. It doesn't hurt his status as a top hated heel. Of course, it set up Braun Breaker coming in, trying to spear AJ, but accidentally spearing Dom. And then there was this really excellent bit after with Breaker throwing his shirt, or ripping his shirt and throwing it at AJ just catching it. They're definitely going to do Braun versus AJ. I'm wondering if that's going to be an extra match on the Chamber card or at WrestleMania. Maybe they'll do a triple threat with Dom on the Chamber card and then the actual proper match at Mania. I think they're setting it up a little early, so it could be on the Chamber, but I definitely see Braun versus AJ as a potential Mania match. And speaking of Dirty Dom, as well as Finn Balor and Raquel Rodriguez, the three members of Judgment Day fighting in big matches on this show all lost. So that little clubhouse segment where they all saying they're going to win. Obviously, all's not right in Judgment Day land. I did think it was funny. Carlito was trying to get a credit card number to buy his membership for WWE 2K24. But regardless, the only one who's seemingly successful right now is Liv. Maybe they are going to get that new member. Maybe Finn's going to finally agree, okay, we need a new member. I'm wondering who that's going to be. I honestly have no idea who that could be. We got New Day getting the massive boos from the crowd, saying something about Rey Mysterio, which, it's kind of true. I mean, he kind of has buried other luchador talents. Maybe that's why they're not putting him with Penta. They were confronted by the LWO minus Rey Mysterio, and I guess minus Zelina Vega. I don't know if she's still in it. She's now on SmackDown. Obviously, that's setting up a match. I think New Day might emerge victorious in this little thing. I think they're setting up New Day maybe potentially for a championship run and maybe defending the championships at Mania. I was thinking maybe they'd be defending them against the babyface Usos at Mania, but that's obviously not going to be the case, seeing as Jey Uso is really main event Jey Uso this time. I think they should be moving the New Day story along a little bit quicker. I wish they would, but you know what? They're still getting the heat from the crowd. I'm still enjoying this heel run. I just wish it went a little bit faster. Penta beat Pete Dunne for the second time, this time taking advantage of a distraction by Ludwig Kaiser. And then we had Kaiser and Dunne and Kaiser and Penta. I'm not sure where they're going with this. Maybe we're headed for a triple threat. I'm kind of hoping that Tyler Bate returns soon so Pete Dunne can be focused on the tag team thing. I hated their name, New Catch Republic. I think British Strong Style was better. but I kind of liked him more in that scene versus this "Don't Call Me Butch" or getting involved in this thing now. But whatever, another triple threat with these three guys could potentially be a good match for the time being. But I do think maybe Penta and Kaiser is a way to go before eventually we maybe get to Penta versus Braun Breaker. It seems like Penta's cooled off a little bit, but they're still giving it heat. This could end up being quite good, but we're going to see where it goes. And these were my assorted thoughts on the February 17th, 2025 WWE RAW. This RAW is officially in the books, including the unsanctioned match and the two men's and women's Elimination Chamber final cards for those matches. This show did a lot of heavy lifting, set a lot of stuff up for Elimination Chamber. Of course, that's the next one before WrestleMania. So I did enjoy this show, and we're going to see where we go from here. Did you agree with my takes? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And make sure you like, share, subscribe, and ring that bell for notifications. I'll be back potentially with a wrestling opinion video, and definitely with my assorted thoughts on Friday's SmackDown. For Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.